Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this session, I've given passing package for class 12 Karnataka board examination. Kindly go through all these questions, it might be helpful to you. So let us start with the session. Chapter number 1, Reproduction in Organisms. My dear students, here you have to focus on certain terms like lifespan, embryogenesis, and then you have to also focus on asexual reproductive structures in Chlamydomonas, penicillin, hydra, and sponge. Vegetative propagules have been continuously asked, that is in potato, ginger, agave, bryophyllum, and water hyacinth. Difference between estrus and menstrual cycle. Define hermaphrodites with examples. Parthenogenesis, give an example. All these questions are important. You also need to focus on seasonal breeders and continuous breeders difference. What is fertilization and its types? Difference between homogametes and heterogametes. Binomial name of a plant that shows unusual flowering once in 12 years. Strobilanthes kunthiana, very important. What are vegetative propagules? Again, the question has been repeated. Distinguish between asexual and sexual reproduction as well as external and internal fertilization with examples. Next chapter, chapter number 2, sexual reproduction in angiosperms. Very important chapter. Here terms such as microsporogenesis, megasporogenesis, syngamy and triple fusion are important. Questions like what is polyembryony, give an example. Define apomyxis, parthenocarpic fruits with an example. Difference between true fruits and false fruits with an example. Question number 6, this is very important. Pollination and its types like autogamy, getinogamy and xenogamy. Differences between getinogamy and xenogamy. Definition of emasculation and bagging, very important. What is perisperm with an example. What are outbreeding devices? Mention outbreeding devices in flowering plants. And once again, this chapter 2 is very, very important. Next chapter, chapter number 3, human reproduction. Terms like spermiogenesis, permeation, menarche, menopause, and implantation are important. Name the hormone that induces ovulation in females. What is Graafian follicle? Ducts associated with the human male reproductive system. Which cells of the testis secrete androgens? Leydig cells and their significance. Also focus on what is corpus luteum and its function, Sertoli cells and their function, what is placenta, mention the hormone secreted by it, which is very important. List the functions of placenta, again important. What is colostrum, mention its importance. What is fetal ejection reflex, explain. This question has been continuously asked. Chapter number 4, reproductive health. Terms like amniocentesis, periodic abstinence, lactational amenorrhea is important. One more questions like name the new oral contraceptive developed by CDRI Lucknow. Name a hormone releasing IUDs. Mention the characteristics of an ideal contraceptive, which is very important. Describe the natural birth control methods. Define infertility. Enlist any 2 possible reasons for infertility in human beings. Also questions like sexually transmitted infections with examples and simple principles to prevent sexually transmitted infections, MTP, assisted reproductive technologies and examples. Plus you also have to know and write the short notes on IVF, ET, ZIFT, GIFT, ICSI and AI. Next chapter, chapter number 5, principles of inheritance and variations. Kindly focus on terms like incomplete dominance, codominance or difference between incomplete dominance and codominance. The following 3 questions has been continuously asked in the model question papers. Explain incomplete dominance with reference to flower color in snapdragon. Schematically represent dihybrid cross. Explain the inheritance of one gene, that is monohybrid cross, taking the example of stem height in pea plants. Definitions like multiple alleles, pleiotropy and polygenic inheritance with examples also have to be studied. Define linkage and recombination. Advantages of selecting Drosophila as an experimental material in genetics. This question has been also asked continuously. What is point mutation? Give an example. Pedigree analysis and its significance. Write short notes on Mendelian disorders like phenylketonuria. color blindness, sickle cell anemia, hemophilia, thalassemia. Do not confuse between Mendelian disorders and chromosomal disorders. Next question, chromosomal disorders, causes, karyotype and symptoms you have to study on Down syndrome, Turner syndrome, Klinefelter syndrome. Also focus the type of sex determination in Drosophila, birds, and describe haplodiploid sex determination in honeybees, which has been continuously asked. Compared to other chapters, chapter number 5 and 6 is having a lot of weightage. So kindly focus on these chapters more. Terms like replication, transcription, translation. Also name the linkage between nitrogenous base and pentose sugar to form nucleoside. What is the linkage between pentose sugar and phosphate to form nucleotide? Difference between euchromatin and heterochromatin or differences. Criteria for a biomolecule that acts as a genetic material, or DNA is better genetic material than RNA, justify. On genetic code you have to study more. AUG codon has dual functions, justify. Human Genome Project, very important. It can be salient features also. DNA fingerprinting steps and applications lack apron concept, very important. In chapter number 7, evolution, you have to focus on define saltation, homologous organs or analogous organs. It can be definition with example or differences, or homology and analogy, differences, or it can be also differences between divergent evolution with convergent evolution along with the examples. Very much important, what is adaptive radiation? Give an example. Darwin finches of Galapagos Island represent one of the best examples for adaptive radiation. Comment. Give examples for evolution by anthropogenic action. State Hardy-Weinberg's principle. Factors affecting Hardy-Weinberg's principle, Big Bang theory. Definitions like gene pool, gene drift, founder effect is equally important. What is the name of the fish that is caught in South Africa in 1938 thought to be extinct, which can be asked for 1 mark. Chapter number 8, human health and diseases. Very important chapter once again. Focus on terms like define immunity, mention its types, innate immunity, describe the types of barriers of innate immunity, name the test that confirms typhoid. This question is very important. Mention the disease causing organisms and symptoms of the following diseases. Define allergy. What are allergens? Give an example. Mention any 4 symptoms of allergy. Study about antibody, tumor, the types of tumor, difference between benign tumors and malignant tumors. I have informed you to focus on immunity because on immunity questions will be asked more. How does a cancer cell differ from a normal cell? Distinguish between active and passive immunity, innate and acquired immunity. That's all coming under immunity. What are interferons? Mention their significance. Schematically represent the stages in life cycle of malarial parasite, the modes of transmission of AIDS, the confirmative test for AIDS, HIV life cycle, and also you have to name the plant from which the following drugs are obtained, like morphine, cannabinoids. In chapter number 9, strategies for enhancement in food production, focus on terms like totipotency, explant, micropropagation, somaclone, somatic hybrid, somatic hybridization. Any 5 applications of tissue culture is also important. What is germplasm collection? Describe the outbreeding techniques in animals, difference between inbreeding and outbreeding, advantages and disadvantages of inbreeding, very important. What is inbreeding depression? How to overcome inbreeding depression in animals, which has been continuously asked. Also focus on dairying, poultry, and how to manage a successful dairy management or poultry management. All these answers are easy to learn. What is beekeeping or apiculture? Mention its economic importance is also important. Biofortifications and objectives. What are single cell proteins? Mention the sources and advantages of using microbes as single cell proteins, very important. What is plant breeding? Mention the objectives of plant breeding. Describe the different steps. This is very important in the development of a new hybrid plant variety. Also, you have to learn the outbreeding techniques once again in animals, that is AI and MOET. In chapter number 10, microbes and human welfare, focus on mycorrhiza, bacterial flocks, organic farming. Also 1 mark question like name the bacterium which is responsible for large holes in Swiss cheese. Examples for bioactive molecules. The next question is very important. Name the sources and application of the following bioactive molecules. Cyclosporin A, statins. Also, difference between primary sewage treatment and secondary sewage treatment. What is BOD? Mention its significance. BOD is an index of water pollution. Justify. Or what is biocontrol? Describe the role of microbes as biocontrol agents, citing suitable examples. Next important question is, what are biofertilizers? Name the sources of biofertilizers with an examples for each. Role of microbes in household products as well as industrial products. Describe the role of microbes as biocontrol agents and biofertilizers, which is very important. In chapter number 11, Biotechnology and Its Principles, focus on microinjections. What is biolistic or gene gun method? Define plasmid. What is gel electrophoresis? Explain how DNA fragments are separated and visualized using this technique. Also study about the cloning vector, plasmid PBR332. Downstream processing, mention the various steps in downstream processing you have to learn on this. PCR, that is polymerase chain reaction, different steps in genetic engineering. In chapter number 12, biotechnology and its application, you have to focus on Bt cotton, Bt genes, genetically modified organisms, biopiracy, transgenic animals, RNA interference. Also important question, what is gene therapy? Name the deficiency disease on which gene therapy was first employed. Describe any 5 applications of transgenic animals. These are all repeated questions which has been asked in the question paper. One more important chapter that you have to focus, my dear students, that is chapter number 13, organisms and populations. Here terms like diapause, natality, mortality, immigration, emigration. State Allen's rule, define competition. What is interference, competition? State Gauss competitive exclusive principle. Eurythermal animals, stenothermal animals with examples. It's good if you learn. Or difference between euryhaline, stenohenine animals. Focus on migration concept, commensalism, give examples, write a short notes on sexual deceit, very important in Mediterranean or orchid, that is Ophrys. Define predation, very important, mention the role of predators in an ecosystem. Also focus on brood parasitism, interactions like predation, parasitism, competition, commensalism, mutualism. And kindly look into the question number 16, name the type of interaction among the following. In many question paper for 5 marks, these questions have been asked. From chapter number 14, ecosystem, focus on terms like detritus, food web, standing state, standing crop. Also focus on ecological succession terms and hydrax succession, xerac succession, define nutrient cycling and biogeochemical cycles like carbon cycle, phosphorus cycle. Also very important concepts like pyramid of biomass, pyramid of energy, pyramid of number. You have to study all these terms. Define decomposition and different steps in the process of decomposition. From chapter number 15, biodiversity and its conservation, definitions like biodiversity, endemism, bioprospecting, all these definitions are important. And also terms with examples like genetic diversity, species diversity, ecological diversity is equally important. Why Western Ghats is considered as the biodiversity hotspot, or name the evil quartets of biodiversity, losses in a given habitat, species extinction, name animals of recent extinction as per ICUN Red List. Also focus on certain questions like co-extinction, sacred groves, biodiversity hotspots, okay, alien species invasions with suitable examples, the evil quartet, once again it's been repeated, in situ conservation, ex situ conservation with suitable conservation strategies, difference between in situ and ex situ conservation, or a short note on the Earth Summit. Coming to the last chapter, environmental issues, which is chapter number 16, focus on terms like algal bloom, biomagnification, eutrophication, ecosan, e-waste, ozone hole, snow blindness, deforestation, reforestation. Effects of air pollutants, advantages of CNG over diesel or petrol, algal bloom and its effects, BOD, soil waste, mention their types. Also focus on radioactive waste, pollution, deforestation, reforestation. Short note on case study of controlling vehicular pollution in Delhi. What is biomagnification, eutrophication, once again, remedy for plastic waste, greenhouse gases, name them, global warming, its effects and control measures. What is ozone hole? Mention it effects. 5 effects of water pollution. Short notes on Bishnoi community, Chipko movement, joint forest management, which is very important. I hope this session was useful. All the best, my dear students, for the coming exams. Do not forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.